Welcome everyone again. Our next session today is tips for parents expecting multiples. Now there are a few places where you would get so many people with so many multiple births in one place. Simon, who you probably many of you have met, is a dad to 3 girls. Him and his husband Richard have 3 children, Annabella, Scarlett and Indiana, and they were born in July 2012. And Simon's going to take us through a little bit of what to expect and how to stay sane. Thanks.
Hi everyone. Oh, there we go. Just put that up a little bit. Great. Hi everyone. I thought just for something different today, I'm just going to show you a video. This video was created for my children, and we watch it once a week because it has photos of them when they were born and sort of leading up until I think probably about 2 months ago. So there's just a couple of photos in there for you to have a look at it, and it explains our journey. That's something that we felt was very important for our children to be able to see them. They're now 22 months old, and they point at the TV when they come on, they know that that's them. So I'll just share this with you. It only goes for about 6 minutes, and then I'll just touch on a few things that I think is really important for you to hear. Right. So that's my family, and basically, there's an increasing number of multiple births through India and Thailand, as they have high rates of embryos that are allowed to be transferred. So some clinics it varies from as minimum of 3 to up to 5. However, a surrogate mother is only allowed to carry twins to term. The support, so prior to beginning your surrogacy journey, it's a great idea to find out what family support you are going to have, who's going to be involved, who's going to come to the baby pickup. You know, are you going to have a mum? You know, like, is mum going to come? Is grandma going to come? Who's going to be involved, and what can they offer in regards to once you do bring the children home? You know, a day where they come and babysit. Like my mum, she comes once a week to babysit, and that's the day that I know that I can run around and do errands and make appointments for those days if there's anything that I need. Obviously, as you would expect, a strict routine is very important. I use the Tizzy Hall Save Our Sleep. I only utilise this book because it's actually a study done on children's sleep cycles, and I found that being a flight attendant myself, you know, a lot of our training involves understanding our sleeping patterns, our sleeping cycles, in order to get up for the early morning flights, do the flights for the night. And basically, you just adapt this to your own situation. So whatever book you do decide to go with, you know, bear in mind, use that as a rough guide, see how that fits you. Every child is different, but you know, as long as there is some sort of structure there, that's what your children thrive off. Also a routine for yourself, so sleep and they sleep, routine for your household duties, and also just, I found I was always very calm, cool, and collected around my children, and the children just seem to be very, very relaxed, and they really do pick up on your vibes that you're putting out to them. Organisation. So obviously, organisation is the key to your smooth parenting experience. Preparation of everything, so bottles, formula, anything that you can do to make your life easier. I used room temperature bottles. That way, throughout my day, I could have, throughout the schedule, I would have a time where I would make all of the bottles up for a 24-hour period with all the dispensers, and then that way, if I ran into trouble with one not being very settled or someone, I always had my bottles there ready to go, and it was literally just a pour in and shake. Obviously, getting out of the house to run errands, so my mum once a week, like I said. And day trips out of your house is really important as well. So when you have multiple children, it's a little bit harder than taking a child out in a pram to have a little bit of a sleep. So I had to have the high chairs, the porta cots, everything set up there, but still so that you could get out, you could go for a drive, your children get used to being in the car. There's a picture. Feeding. So there's a lot of different people have a lot of different ideas about feeding. How do you make it work? Do you get one up at a time? Do you have their schedules? I had them all on the exact same schedule. And what I did was I used rolled up hand towels to prop the bottle. So I'll just flip to the next one. So you can see here in the picture, there's the three of them. And so what you would do is you'd get the first child up, you'd change the first child to wake the child up, and then you'd put the child down, prop up the bottle, you'd repeat the same process for child 2 and child 3. By the time that you'd finished with child 3, child 1 was now halfway through the bottle and ready to burp. So you pick up the child, burp, second child burp, third child burp. So basically until the whole bottle was gone. So it's just, it was about a routine for myself, making sure I knew what I was going to be doing, and just following that process each time. Visitors. This is a funny thing because so many people obviously are so excited to share, your love and experience and, meet the children. But it can get very tiresome, and especially with multiple children and you're getting up through the night. So it's a really good idea just to make sure that you sort of set aside some time, a time in your routine that's going to work for you to enjoy that adult company, because then everything's done, and rather than sort of running around doing things or getting things organised, it's all been done and you can enjoy yourself. I'll move on. Exercise. So it was really important to get out of the house. So, just going for a walk for the first 4 months is probably the only thing that you would be able to do. But it's really, it's great for the children, the fresh air. So prams. So I started off with the first two that you can see here. So they're the city jogger minis. And so I had a twin and a single pram, and I had a wonderful neighbour from Texas that was out here with her husband that worked. So she used to come once a day for a walk with me, and obviously Priscilla pram. Then her husband decided to retire, which wasn't very nice. So they moved back to Texas. So I was like, what am I going to do for a pram? So the only pram that I could actually find was the pram, the 3-seater pram there. It's a ABC New Zealand adventure. And so you've got the 2 children on the bottom and you've got 1 on the top, which is really good because whoever's being naughty, that's the one that goes on the top. Aids for multiple parents. So some of these things I found really useful. Obviously online shopping. Home delivered meals as well. There's a lot of places in a lot of different states that do home delivered meals. That way you're just putting it in the oven, defrosting what you need, lunch is prepared for you, and everything's all organised. Room temperature bottles, like I mentioned before. There's au pairs, nannies, friends, neighbours to walk, and musical swings is one of the most important ones. I wanted to tell you about the bath time. So my partner has a law firm, his own law firm, and he has slept with earplugs, has never changed a baby, works very, very long hours. So I knew that it was going to have to work for me and me alone. So the swings, 3 different types of swings, and then as you're bathing a child and you finish, you just move them all along in their swings. Seemed to work, everyone was really happy, lots of different things to look at, so everyone seemed happy. And obviously teething as well. They generally do love to all teeth together. So when they did, it was obviously, I've only got one hand, so whatever top I was wearing, I'd just take off. You just line the swing with that top, and then you pop them in there, turn it on, and away they go. And that always seemed to work for all three of my children. Okay, so this is a sample routine. So this is what I utilised whilst for the first 3 months. So you can see along the side there you've got time, what I did for the child, and what as a parent I did for myself. So you can see it's 7 o'clock, you wake up, change, feed, burp, place a baby on the swing mat, and then obviously, you'd complete those tasks, and that's the time that I used to always put on a load of washing and put it through the dryer. And I'd also do meal preparation for myself and my partner. I did all the cooking for the first 1.5 years. And then once they slept less, that was it. Like, he had to get a shower. So we're quite lucky. But a slow cooker was really great for the first couple of months because this is something that you can just chop up, turn on, leave, come back, make 4 portions so that you've got lunch for tomorrow all sorted and down pat. At 8:15 you put the child down. The parent would have sleep number 3, so between 8:15 and 10:30. And then at 10:30 that's wake up, change the nappy, complete all the tasks with the children. And then at 11:45 the child would go down to sleep, so you check the nappy, swaddle and place all of them into their cots. And then this is the time that I utilise to sterilise all the bottles for the 24-hour period. And as you can see, it's a really easy process just to grab and go. And then at 2 o'clock it was time to get them up, so you repeat that process. And this is when I found it was a really great time to have visitors over at 2:30 because I had done everything, the dinner was prepared, the washing was all done, and I felt like when my children went to sleep, you know, everyone wants to see them, it was a perfect time, everyone can see them, they've all been fed, and yeah, then you can obviously enjoy the company. And then obviously at 3:15, you can see what happens there. I'm almost finished, I'm running out of time. At 5:30, wake up, bath time, so this is where I utilise the swings and rotate them all through the different ones. And having TV, there's plenty of good TV shows for children out there that just keep like all bright lights, it keeps them stimulated, starts opening their eyes and helping their brain to work. 6 p.m, obviously you fed the bottle. At 7, that was when they went back to sleep, and that's when I used to serve dinner. And as you can see there, make 4 portions and then you have lunch for the next day. At night time, you would do 9:30, you would wake them up, complete the task for the children. This is where you'd have your first sleep, so between 9:30 and whenever they woke, between 2 and 3. And for my children, from day 2, they were on this, probably 10 minutes before they'd start to stir. And then at 7 o'clock, obviously, so between, after you just do the wake up, change, feed and burp, you'd obviously then have your sleep too, and 7 o'clock you get up and your day starts again. I just want to leave you with a few things. Other people's thoughts and their journeys. There's so many people out there that are like, oh my goodness, do you know what you're getting yourself into? You know, you're not stressed enough. It's one of these things, you don't know what it's like to have one child. So for me, this is what it was like to have children. So, you know, you need to remember that that's just their thoughts, and other people have different parenting experiences and journeys, and you just can't let other people's emotions get into your head. Always be willing to listen to everything, but only use what you like. You know, you definitely don't want to, some people have some really good ideas, and you don't want to make sure that you miss out on anything. Never be afraid to ask for help from family members or neighbours. Everyone's always willing to lend a hand when you're a multiple parent. And parenting is your journey, so you do what's right for you and your babies. Sometimes you have to have what I used to call a survival day. You know, everything was just really not working. Okay, so I just went into survival mode and we'll start up with a routine, a new day tomorrow. And just remember that you're not the first parent to have multiples, and you certainly won't be the last, and it's really what you make it. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Have we got any quick questions for Simon before we move on to the next section? Yes?
I want to say congratulations, Simon. I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
The routine is brilliant.
Thanks.
everything you wrote down. I could just read it myself.
Thank you.
The way that you go through your day, and you know, I love the last point. You're not the first parent in the world to have multiples, and you won't be the last.
Yeah.
But I think the good thing is to utilise all the resources that you have. The Australian Multiple Birth Association is fantastic. They have local groups.
Yeah.
I belong to one group. We deliver meals to new parents. We provide information sessions, and people come together so you can talk to people who know what it's like when you have more than one child at once. And also, yes, never be afraid to ask for help, but on average, if someone asks you for help more than 2 times and you say no, it's rare that they'll ask again. So they do ask for help, even if it's just, I've got to get over my fear of someone else folding my underwear. Just fold my underwear, it's going to help me out.
Absolutely.
So always accept help, I reckon, is another one.
Thanks again, Simon. We're going to have, oh sorry, we've got one more question, sorry.
Yes, indeed, very impressive, I have to say. Congratulations. But actually, I just wanted to double check something, if I heard that correctly. You were talking about service in Thailand, and I think you said that they were allowed to have 3 to 5 embryos implanted, but that a surrogate was only allowed to carry a
twins to a term.
Is that correct? So what happens then? Does she have to have immediate fetal reduction?
By about 10 weeks, you find that in I think it was something like 80% of cases, if all 4 embryos do take, by 10 weeks, it's pretty much sorted itself out. However, if it hasn't, then it goes down fetal reduction. Yeah, the route of fetal reduction
and
before.
what if she doesn't want to do that? What if the commissioning parent doesn't want to do that? It has to happen.
This is something that each clinic is very different about, but I know that all of them have, it's signed. It's something that you have to sign as an intending parent because of the risk. And I mean, you saw the risk with just my twins, let alone other people's twins.
Yes,
if you did have any more than that, but that's just, so that's something that as an intending parent that used India, I can't speak for Thailand, I had to sign something to say if you did implant that many embryos and they did take, if it hasn't sorted itself out before a 12-week period, then fetal reduction would be done. And the surrogate was also explained that this would be the case, but again, it's up to you and your doctor. Some people only implant 2 embryos. Yes, so it's something that you speak to your doctor about.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have just a 2-minute brief break, and then could I have Adam, Paul, Shane and Giles up the front, please?